Evening. Despite the weather doing its best to wipe out the entire fixture list, thankfully we've got some action to bring you from the Football League. And what we lacked in quantity is the quality that will impress you. Well, with me to look at today's 5 games is Steve Claridge. And back to full fitness is Lizzie, who, as always, is looking after your emails and texts. Lizzie.
Yeah, well, you one of the lucky ones who actually got to go to a Football League match today. And if so, did anyone watching just wear their team shirt to the match? This is your chance to show off your toughness to the nation. Don't forget, you can also get your questions in for Steve. Whatever you've got to say, get in touch. You can text us on 81111 or send us an email to footballleague@bbc.co.uk. OK, here's what's coming up tonight. Derby had worked hard to get their game on against Scunthorpe. Would Nigel Clough's men be rewarded with a vital win over their fellow strugglers as both look to move away from the drop zone?
But what does it mean to all those clubs who aren't playing today, to their groundsmen, their directors and their players? I've been finding out about the impact of the big freeze on a team like Rotherham, who haven't kicked a ball since the 12th of December.
With Leeds' game against Wycombe, one of only 2 to survive in League One, we asked the question, how long can they keep hold of Jermaine Beckford? First tonight, 2 teams in real need of the points met at Pride Park. Derby hadn't scored a goal in the last 3 games, while Scunthorpe had the league's poorest defence. Commentary comes from Tony Gubber.
Derby ground staff have toiled for 36 hours to make sure Pride Park lives up to its name and is playable. And inactivity elsewhere offers a window of opportunity for Derby County and Scunthorpe to improve their league positions. Both are dangerously close to the relegation places. Derby have Robbie Savage back in midfield after he missed the FA Cup tie through suspension, and Nicky Hunt makes his debut at right back after arriving on a month's loan from Bolton just 2 days ago. Scunthorpe, only 2 points above the bottom 3, make 3 changes. They have striker Gary Hooper back after injury and a bout of flu. He's their top scorer with 8 goals. Made wide by Hooper. Addison with the clearing header. Now Moxie. We didn't look, and it's a back pass, which has put Scunthorpe in. Oh, and Bywater has rescued them and saved the day. What a chance for Scunthorpe. After Dean Moxie had played a loose back pass, and Hooper back in the side today and top scorer was on it in a flash. But he should surely have come the other side of Bywater. He went for the narrow angle, and the goalkeeper was able to smother it. Oh, no wonder he's smiling. Nigel Adkins, who was, of course, the physio at Scunthorpe before being made the manager in December of 2006. And Nigel Clough following in the footsteps of his famous father as a manager of Derby County. Laid back by Murphin. Here's Byrne, intercepted by Moxie. Flag stays down, they're in here, and Scunthorpe take the lead. And Gary Hooper makes amends for the one that he didn't score earlier. But Derby would have to look at their defending. There were hopeful glances across to the linesman on the far side, but the flag wasn't raised. And having rescued them once, Bywater couldn't do it for a second time. And the top scorer, Gary Hooper, puts away his second chance. That was really good work to flick it over the top of the defender. All credit to Martin Wolford for his contribution. Derby 0, Scunthorpe 1. It could easily have been 2. Well, that's short of Moxie, and there's definite signs of hesitance and nervousness in that Derby County defence, and now Savage has given it away. The referee delayed before he awarded that free kick just to see if there was an advantage, but finally penalised O'Connor. Here's Green. Savage gets there first. This is Nicky Hunt. Just the two strikers to look for in around the penalty spot. Here's Johnson. Hulse. Great opportunity for Derby County to get back on level terms. The left foot shot had no sting in it, did it? By Lee Johnson. Lillis stopped it, pushed it into the path of Rob Hulse, who couldn't put it into the net. One win in the last 7 games for Nigel Clough's Derby County, and trailing here at home to Scunthorpe. Well, there's a push spotted there. Referee was close to it. Addison is penalised. Was it a push, or did Gary Hooper trip? Free kick is given. Headed up, but not headed clear. And Bywater had to get something on that. It's going to be a corner. Well, the head of Jake Buxton knocks it up in the air, and as it dropped down, it was Paul Hayes who got to it first. Bywater got himself in the way. It's just a corner. These are worrying times for Derby County. They're not getting the ball clear, and there's another opportunity whipped in there by Wolford, which was straight at Bywater. Played forward by Byrne. Oh, that's been left to drop over the top. Thompson scored, and it's number 2. And the boos ring out around the Pride Park Stadium, and a really soft goal. And that is Gary Thompson's first goal of the season. Well, the ball looked innocent enough until they left it. And Gary Thompson has put it wide of Stephen Bywater. He got a finger on it, the goalkeeper, but it went in off the inside of the post. And as we move into the last moments of the first half here at Pride Park, the visitors Scunthorpe lead by 2-0. Here's Commons. Lost possession. Savage. Here's Nicky Hunt. This is Pearson. Commons does well to slip one. Still has it. Still has it. Great opportunity. And it's gone in. And Derby have got there. 1 goal back. And it's the substitute, Chris Commons, the new daddy. Became a father in midweek. And the Scottish international has given Derby County a lifeline. Did well to slip away from 2 Scunthorpe defenders and beat a 3rd, and then there was a big deflection. Well, Derby County had sold 28,000 tickets for this match, and pleased to say that after their efforts to get it on, over 28,000 of them have turned up, albeit well wrapped up against the biting cold, but warmed now by signs of a Derby fight back. Now here's Nicky Hunt. Can he deliver here? Oh, he's played it in and it's there! Oh, it's off the line! Commons tries to play it back in. It was cleared off the goal line. Nicky Hunt overlapping, and it was on its way in until Andrew Wright backheeled it away. Hooper on the hunt. He's got a lot to do on his own, but support's now arriving. And he's pulled it back, and he's pulled it back too far, but it's measured, and it's a great 3rd goal, and it's Thompson again. And it's Scunthorpe leading now by 3 goals to 1. Derby County committed to pushing players forward. Hit by the quick break, and it was Gary Hooper's strength in keeping possession which set up the chance for Gary Thompson to place that deliciously past Stephen Bywater. It's Derby 1, it's Scunthorpe 3, and surely that's the 3 points for the visitors, and only their second away league win of the season. Here's Wright to Togwell. This is Hayes. Oh, it was almost a hat-trick, and it's a 4th goal, and it's Forte, the substitute, who's got the 4th for Scunthorpe after Gary Thompson's shot was blocked. And it's a real drubbing for Derby County. Scunthorpe 21st in the championship, just above the bottom 3 places, with a big win at Pride Park on this frozen Saturday. Gary Thompson's shot was blocked, the rebound fell to the feet of Jonathan Forte, Sheffield-born boy, and he's put it past Stephen Bywater. It's Derby County 1, it's Scunthorpe 4, and maybe Derby County now regret their hard work in making sure this fixture went ahead.
We're giving goals away, you know, we're going even game in the first half, we give 2 goals away, they don't, and we find ourselves chasing the game, and we come out and have a go for 25-30 minutes, and that's all. You saw the reaction of the crowd, that's all they want to see. They want to see the honesty and the endeavour which we showed for not too much of the game, not enough of the game, and we caused them problems, and then of course we go and get the 3rd goal away and the game's over.
It's nice to come to a big stadium like this, a big crowd, and we're trying to get the players to be the best they can be, try and be positive about everything they do, and they've done that today. It's a good result for us.
Yeah, and that's Scunthorpe's first away win in 10 games. They still looked a bit wobbly at the back, but that was a thoroughly deserved win for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they dominated that game. They could have been 3 up within 25 minutes. Almost had the freedom of the park to play, didn't they? And when you let them knock the ball around, they are a side who can hurt you. And, you know, undoubtedly, they played very well today. I
mentioned going into that game that it was Gunny's defence that's let them down this season. It's the worst in the league, it's that bad. But it was Derby's back line that looked more vulnerable than anything.
Yes, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, they were their own worst enemies at times, weren't they? I think what you've got to say is you defend from the front, you defend as a team, so you don't just look at your back 4, you look at it all over, and the space that they were accorded to.
That's great play from Martin
players.
Wolford,
I mean, that was brilliant play, and the way that he got the ball off just in time to keep Hooper on the side was fantastic. But, you know, Miles Addison here, I mean, chalk and cheese. His performance at Newcastle, last time we managed to see him, was absolutely fantastic. What he's doing there in no man's land, I don't know. But they got punished as well, you know, when the opportunities arose. Scunthorpe didn't take a second invitation, and they were worthy winners today. And that's a concern for Derby, because when their home form starts to go, I think that's 3 on the trot now they've lost.
Yeah.
That is a worry.
Now let's just take a look at Nigel Clough's record at Pride Park. He's been in charge now for exactly a year. There's been a lot of changes behind the scenes, a lot of turnaround in personnel. But has there been sufficient progress under Nigel Clough? I mean, what, 14 wins from 45?
Well, I mean, I think there are extenuating circumstances, and he will certainly expect better than he saw today. Possibly not, but when you've got rid of something like 20, 25 players and you've only brought in 6 or 7, then obviously in a way the odds are stacked against you. But there's still enough players, there's still enough quality, there's still enough good players there to do better than they are. The thing is as well, they are getting players back fit, so that excuse now is not really standing up. So they would have. This is why we're getting the boos, and this is why people are running out. Their patience is running a little bit short, because there probably aren't any. The excuses that were valid aren't there anymore.
Yeah, tough times for Rams fans at the minute. Now, with Newcastle's game called off, that meant West Brom could move to within 3 points of the leaders if they overcame Nottingham Forest last night. But Forest went into the game top of the form table, whilst Albion had lost just once in the last 10. A real feast of football awaited those who braved the sub-zero temperatures. Here's Martin Fisher.
Matches off, up and down the country. The fixture list decimated, but this one has beaten the Big Freeze. As 2nd and 3rd in the Championship go head-to-head. Albion boasts the best attacking record in the division. Forest the best defensive record. Something has to give. With Abdoulaye Maite away at the Africa Cup of Nations with the Ivory Coast, West Brom give a debut to Gabriel Tamash in defence. The Romanian international joined the club on loan this week from Auxerre. Scott Carson returns in goal after completing a 3-match suspension. Billy Davies is able to call on Guy Moussi for the first time since November. He's missed the last 7 matches with an ankle injury. Rob Earnshaw, the former Albion man, is the player to drop out. Dexter Blackstock is the lone striker. Keeper Lee Camp is looking for his 7th clean sheet in a row. Lovely ball for Jerome Thomas, far side. More through the centre. More Stutch. Dorrans with the drive. And he should be full of confidence, Graham Dorrans, the Scottish international. 3 goals in his last 2 outings, but well wide of target. Gunter was looking for Morgan. Instead, gave it straight to Cox. This is Thomas. Danger here for Nottingham Forest. Thomas! Good challenge coming in by Wes Morgan. Shorey steps inside Brunt. Cohen cutting in from that right-hand side, looking for Blackstock. Olsen across for Albion. Blackstock settling for the corner. Well, chance here for Nottingham Forest, their first corner of the game. Wilson and Morgan up from the back. Moussi in there as well. Good delivery, and it's in. Nottingham Forest take the lead, and it's Dexter Blackstock with it. Such a soft goal. Who was picking him up? Plenty back there for Albion. In off the post from Dexter Blackstock, and Nottingham Forest take the lead here. Blackstock was on target in Forest's last championship win against Coventry, and he's back on the score sheet again this evening. What a West Bromwich Albion made of. Thomas! Thomas! Camp will tell us he had it covered. Albion going for the instant response. Morgan for Gunter, trying to work something far side with Cohen. Gunter keeps on going and keeps going. Blackstock attacking the near post, and it's pulled back for Majewski. Excellent work down that right-hand side by Chris Gunter. The Welsh international loves to get forward, and when it's pulled back to Majewski, needed to keep that on target. There's the reaction of Billy Davies. Anderson. 2 in red to his right. Blackstock and Majewski. Anderson wins the free kick. Zeibelin's challenge. Referee Probert well placed to give that. Blackstock is in there. Anderson too. But Majewski might just go straight for goal with this. Yes, he does. Punched away from Carson. Morgan trying to get on the end of things. Majewski here going for the bender. Morgan trying to get on the end of things. Strong punch away from Carson. Swept forward by McKenna. Another good clearance again by Albion. Moussi protected it well. Cohen gets the better of Matic. Gunter takes over. Gunter's cross. Oh, what a goal! Oh, what a fabulous strike by Radoslav Majewski! And Forest double their advantage. Many will argue it's been worth the wait. Again, Albion were guilty of awful defending. So slovenly. Gunter attacking the penalty area, lifting it far post for Majewski. And the best goalkeepers in the world don't keep those out. It's hit with real venom and clips the bar on its way into the back of the net. And Forest now enjoying the kind of lead that their territorial dominance merits. Look at this move. It's lovely football. It's Chris Cohen. It's 3-0. Chris Cohen with his first goal in nearly a year. The man that scored the own goal when these sides met at the City Ground makes it 3-0. And it's another brilliant finish. Cohen's drive beyond Carson kisses the post on its way in. And Nottingham Forest score 3 for the first time away from home this season. Come on, says Billy Davies. Anderson, Majewski, Gunter. Anderson again. They're running at West Bromwich Albion ragged at times, Nottingham Forest. Blackstock has dispossessed Yara. Dorrans has managed to get free from Morgan. That's a lovely ball. There's a goal back. Roman Bednar the sub with it. Lee Camp's run of consecutive clean sheets is finally broken. Full marks here to Dorrans. It's a fabulous through ball, just begging to be buried. And Bednar does his first goal since September. Bednar got his angles right through the legs of Lee Camp. And for those Albion fans that left early, they'll have heard the cheers and will wonder what all the fuss is about. Anderson pushed over by Jerome Thomas from behind, and he's very, very lucky to get away with that. The assistant referee near side must have had a clear view of that. Now, did Paul Anderson have a case here? Got himself inside the box. Jerome Thomas classes into him from behind, nowhere near the ball. That is a penalty. Now, Bednar's goal has offered West Bromwich Albion a lifeline. Another goal would make life very interesting. It's Dorrans. Good ball in, and it's a good chance. It's a fine save by Camp. Olsen with the header. Didn't quite get enough on it, maybe, but Camp still needed to make the save. Corrin works it right for West Bromwich Albion. Brunt back for Corrin. Corrin shot. Oh, he's sailing wide. Looked like handball by Shorey. Play continues. And Miller is getting the better of Wilson here. Shouts for handball. Again, nothing given. But Miller feels that there was a strong shout for a penalty there as he crossed this ball, and it seemed to strike the arm maybe of Wilson. I'm not sure how much the centre-half knew about it. Going for goal! What a good save from Lee Camp. Ishmael Miller taking out his frustration on the football there and really hammering it towards goal. It's dipping, and Camp ensures that it doesn't dip in under his bar.
It keeps the run going, and to come to a place like West Brom, you know, at this time of the season when the weather's not too good, to roll our sleeves up and come here with the attitude we did, I think it shows a lot of character that we've got in the team.
No, I think Nottingham Forest deserved the win. We didn't perform tonight, unfortunately. Too many of our players had a bad night, and that reflected on the whole team.
Yeah, it's amazing what difference a year makes for Billy Davies and Nottingham Forest. 12 months ago, a point above the relegation zone. Now they're, second place and looking very good.
Well, looking extremely good, aren't they? Especially when you consider the start they had. They are the form side. I think they are no doubt they're a threat to everybody in this league. And
are they genuine title contenders?
Oh, absolutely. Whatever team he puts out, it seems like it's completely seamless. They seem to fit like a glove. Everybody seems to know their job. They've got a way of playing away from home, which is obvious. I think he's thrown the shackles off a little bit as well, because they were very much. They've got a lot of draws, but that performance there has gone on another level. And it was, as I say, it was an absolutely marvellous show from them.
I know you think they can finish the season top of the Championship, because individually and collectively they're equally as impressive.
Well, they seem to have so many options. Defensively, as we said, that's the first goal they've conceded for a while. Going forward, we know they've got 5 or 6 strikers all at this level who can hurt you. And they've got boys from midfield who can score goals. They've got Anderson, Machowski here.
What a volley this is.
This is a fantastic strike, isn't it? I mean, you've got to say, when they got the opportunity, they were absolutely clinical. 3 really, really good finishes. That was probably the best of them individually. This is a fantastic collective goal. Marvellous. We've seen this time and time again. Lots and lots of movement, always options on the ball, and they work the space. As you say, really clinical finish. He hasn't got a lot to aim at there. Probably got a foot at the most. And he takes that with a plum. And they looked at times, they looked very, very good.
What's happened to West Brom? I mean, they've seriously gone off the boil, haven't they?
Well, I mean, they had moments in that game, periods in that game where they had opportunities, didn't take them. You just get the feeling that they're still a team that possibly need to play well to win games of football. And as Roberto Di Matteo said, they probably didn't play as well as they could, and unfortunately that was the wrong team not to play well against.
Not a great home record, have they, against the top sides?
No, I mean, I think they've only they've played 6 out of the 11 and
not won one of them.
No, so that doesn't augur well.
No. Well, with a date at the High Court pending over an unpaid debt, it's been a worrying week for Cardiff City fans. On the pitch, though, the Bluebirds boast the top 2 scorers in the Championship. But while goals hadn't been an issue, winning games at home had been. Well, today they welcomed a Blackpool side who could move into a playoff spot with a win.
It's been a testing couple of weeks for Cardiff. Defeat here to Plymouth, losing a 4-goal lead at Peterborough, and a second winding-up order of the season hanging over the Bluebirds. But they at least survived the big freeze and made the perfect start. Mark Hudson and ended Peter Whittingham's cross. The normally reliable Paul Rahubka, though, should maybe have done better. Illness to Jay Bothwood meant a first ever Cardiff League start for Josh McGuinness. It all began so well for the teenage striker, though injury kept his appearance to just 34 minutes. The Bluebirds had bossed the first half but had just the 1 goal to show for it. Blackpool's Ian Holloway said he was fuming at half-time, and his fiery words paid dividends 28 seconds after the restart. Brett Ormerod fed Charlie Adam. The midfielder scored his 8th league goal of the season to tie the scores. Adam Matthews is a rising star for Cardiff and is sure to be on transfer window wanted lists. He went close to restoring Cardiff's lead. Blackpool were more than matching their hosts as the game swung from end to end. Cardiff keeper David Marshall denied Ben Burgess. And Paul Rahubka too was at full stretch to keep out Peter Whittingham's free kick. All square between 2 playoff chasers. Blackpool with 7 points in the last 9 available away from home. Cardiff now 3 winless in the league.
You know, last week we didn't dig deep. Today they really did, and they've come away with a hard-earned point, and that point might do us the world of good, but, you know, sometimes I don't know what people want.
In the end, you know, football sort of finds its level. We got a point, Cardiff got a point, but, you know, it's definitely a game of 2 halves. Our first one was awful, our second one was very good.
Yeah, good footballing cliche from Ollie. A good point for Blackpool as well. It's funny, Ian Holloway says he's after players who can play his continental style. It sounds quite ambitious, lofty ambitions from him, but it's working, and we saw that with the Charlie Adams goal.
Oh, they've been, again, I mean, what can you say about them? The plaudits they get are deserved. I mean, it's fantastic play. Lovely little interchange then, as you say, it's a super finish. That was 35 seconds into the second half. I mean, they look like a side to me, Cardiff, you know, had a fantastic first half, probably didn't get their just desserts by only leading by 1 goal. But that clearly at this stage isn't enough for them, and they look like they need a lift. They look to me as if they need to just freshen things up a little bit, Dave Jones. You know, they looked a little bit flat today.
I'll tell you what didn't help is the fact that Dave Jones also admitted 3 or 4 of his players were throwing up in the dressing room before the game. There's a virus sweeping through the camp. That obviously didn't help them.
Yeah, should have turn that undersaw heating off, I think, shouldn't
Possibly,
they, if it's like that. I mean, it's not ideal. It's the one time when, you know, you don't want it to work. But, yeah, no, it wasn't ideal, and it was typified possibly in their second half performance.
There's doubts of whether they can sign players in January because of what's going on behind the scenes and this debt and the tax bill. Could this derail their playoff hopes if this does come to fruition and they can't sign players?
Well, I mean, it's all tightened up a little bit because they had themselves in a couple of positions this year where they could have gone top. I mean, they've fallen away slightly and things are tightening up behind them. But I think they do need to freshen things up. I think they need just to bring a little bit of reinforcements in, just so everybody takes a little bit of a lift from it. Because, as I said, not just because of the food, but they've just looked a little bit flat in recent weeks.
Their luck has certainly deserted them. I mean, Cardiff's Josh McGuinness carried off. A 19-year-old has broken his leg, it's emerged this evening. We certainly wish him the best of luck in his recovery. Now, no doubt what the story's been this week, and for once the British obsession with weather was a fair one. But what does all that mean to the players, the managers and staff of clubs who are affected by it all? Mark Clemmit donned his snowshoes to find out.
Health and safety issues with the surrounding roads and paths is the official version given for the postponement of Rotherham's 5th consecutive game and 3rd in succession here at the Don Valley Stadium. Though truth be told, it could just as easily have been their pitch.
Can we have a little look, Jim? Can we have a little scrape down here at what we've got?
Yeah.
So we have got 5-6 inches there.
Yep.
And then what kind of a state is this going to be in? Oh, that's absolutely
Frozen solid.
frozen solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens from here on? I mean, once this snow's gone, the frost starts to come out. Are we talking about residual damage potentially? Are you going to have a lot of work to do once all these
Not
icy
really.
conditions have gone?
I'm led to believe at the moment the snow's doing us a favour because it's acting as a blanket. You know, I mean, with frost covers, yeah, you can put frost covers on your pitch, but after 3 or 4 days, the frost covers have got to come off anyway because, you know, then you do get damage. But at the moment, you know, Mother Nature's looking after our football pitch.
This level of football, of course, the revenue you take from TV rights, etc., is minimal. So the vast proportion of your, the highest proportion of your revenue comes through what you take on match day. And we've now lost 3 games, and that's been very difficult.
As for Rotherham's players, they haven't kicked a ball in anger since December the 12th. Since, in fact, Gary Roberts scored that goal from the halfway line in the 4-2 win against Bradford. And of course, their added frustration this week is that they haven't even been able to get out and train.
I mean, you just must be like sort of gagging to let off some steam.
Well, it's like pre-season again in a certain way, because obviously you get 2 months off in the close season, but we've had a month and a half off now, so it's virtually a time to get fit again, concentrate on your fitness, and then when we finally get let go into a game, everyone will be buzzing and ready to go.
You can't allow this, obviously, to derail your promotion push.
No, we're 3rd in the league at the moment, and you know, it's these lads have been absolutely top notch, first class, and you know, we've got a lot of games to catch up on now, obviously, and hopefully that we can stay in that position.
There's a bit of snow still excite you, as though you were a boy, you know. Do you want a quick snowball fight?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's been a couple of the lads. I saw them go into the boot of their car and get a sledge out, and they've been up on that hill there over there now.
Is that
sledging.
right?
Yeah, they have. They've been down there this morning, about 2 or 3 of them.
And even the manager, Ronnie Moore, has not made it on a couple of days.
I think so, yeah, but I think that's more to do with the fact he's moving home in a minute as well, I think. So,
yeah, lightly story.
Well, you'll have to ask him that, but that's the excuse he's given us so far anyway.
Yeah. Can I ask you another question?
You can.
Will you hold that microphone, please?
I will, mate.
Good, my hands are too cold. Oh, that's better, yeah.
Now, was it me, or has Clem stumbled across his long-lost twin brother? Steve, what do you reckon? I mean, similarities are uncanny, aren't they? By the way, our Clem's the guy on the right.
He's a lot thinner and better looking than him, isn't he?
Winter breaks, 29 games off this weekend.
Yeah.
It's brought up this debate. Should there be a winter break in the Football League? Would you be a fan of it?
Well, the problem is you can't ever say, well, that the cold snap's going to come at this precise moment. Say you had, you know, we've just had a 2-week break.
Well, they have one in Italy, Spain, Germany.
Yeah, I mean, but what I'm saying is, say you had a 2-week break and then we get this cold snap. So in effect, you're probably going to take a month out. There aren't too many clubs who can survive that. Rather unfortunate, they've got new owners, people who can go through this period. But there aren't too many clubs who could have a month out at that level and be okay. So if you could guarantee the weather, you're getting the 2 weeks.
Can't.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which you can't. If you could guarantee it, then yes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but you can't guarantee that.
All right, OK. Well, with one defeat in the last 4 games, Coventry had started to find a little bit of form lately. But Barnsley are on an even better run, unbeaten in the last 8 games. Before their game with the Tykes, did you know Sky Blue's history has its origin in bikes?
It was in 1883 that Willie Stanley, an employee of Singer's Bicycle Company, formed Singer's FC, who 15 years later changed their name to Coventry City. I can't get on either of these. They joined the Football League in 1919, but despite Clary Borton's 173 goals in 228 games in the 1930s, made little impact on the football world until former Fulham player and PFA chairman Jimmy Hill was appointed as manager in 1961. In his 6 years at the club, he reintroduced the sky blue kit and wrote a club anthem to the tune of the Eton boating song. He also secured 2 promotions, including to the old First Division in 1967. But on the eve of Coventry's top-flight debut, Hill stunned the club by announcing that he was moving into television and a job with the BBC.
Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day. And with Swansea losing at home to Everton and Spurs drawing at Coventry, it seems most likely that this season's league champions are covered in tonight's programme.
In the 1970s, Coventry were involved in their only European campaign. Despite beating Bayern Munich in the home leg, they eventually lost 7-3 on aggregate in the second round of the Fairs Cup. They were also involved in one of the most memorable free kicks of all time.
Hunt! Oh, what a goal!
But arguably their most famous contribution to the 1970s was their chocolate brown away kit. In the space of 2 years, Coventry are involved in 2 of the biggest shocks in FA Cup history. In 1987, they beat Tottenham 3-2 in the final.
Houchin! Brilliant goal! Keith Houchin, the man with the Midas touch in the FA Cup, strikes goal for Coventry.
But 2 years later, lost to non-league Sutton United. In 2001, after years fighting to avoid the drop, Coventry were finally relegated from the Premier League, ending their 34-year stay in the top flight. And in 2005, after 106 years at Highfield Road, they relocated to the Ricoh Arena, England's first cashless stadium.
Fresh snow overnight caught Coventry's ground staff by surprise, but the match against Barnsley went ahead after some last-minute heroics.
It's been an absolutely mammoth effort this morning and all week by the facilities team, maintenance team, volunteers, stewards, and it's just, you know, it's a real achievement for the Ricoh Arena and Coventry City all pulled together to get this game on today.
It's 87 years since the Tykes last won in Coventry, but they're in good form and began as if they meant business. Stephen Foster's header wasn't far off. Coventry's Freddie Eastwood began the season on the first-team fringe. He managed just 4 goals in all of last season, but he's on fire right now, and his 5th goal in his last 5 league games put the Sky Blues in front. That goal came midway through the first half. The second came just 3 minutes later. Sammy Klingen's volley, dare say, with shades of a certain Paolo Di Canio goal for West Ham against Wimbledon. 15,000 fans braved the freezing conditions to watch this one, including 600 hardy souls from South Yorkshire, and those away fans were given something to cheer early in the second half. Adam Hamill supplied John Macken for his first goal since October. Barnsley were on a run of 8 without defeat in the league. It looks as though they might salvage this game to extend the run. Hamill going close. But Clinton Morrison came on as a late sub for Coventry and at the second time of asking made short of the points for his team with a goal in the second minute of stoppage time. A third successive home win for Chris Coleman's side.
You know, they did all right, Barnsley, to be fair. And on another day they would have got something out of it, but credit to the lads, we dug it out, you know, we stuck at it, dug it out, and if you're winning and you're not playing well, then that's a good sign. And now we certainly didn't play very well today, but we had enough to get the 3 points.
Yeah, in fact, he thought that was the worst they've played in 6 weeks, and to beat Barnsley, who've been unbeaten in, what, 8 games? I mean, it's really turned around now for Coventry.
No, it's a good sign. I mean, Coventry, I think that out of the last 5 or 6 games, I think if I remember right, it's only Forest that have beaten them, and that was at Forest, so yeah, he's certainly turned their form around, Chris, and I think it helps because I think they're finally getting players fit. I think he's actually got options now in his squad. You've got Freddie Eastwood who's scoring him goals, and it helps that you've got someone like Ray Ransom who's an ex-player who would no doubt have taken into consideration, well, hold on a minute, we've got a few players out here, let's just wait and see how we get on when we get those players back. And they're now bearing, you know, they're getting their rewards for being patient.
It makes a difference having an ex-footballer as a chairman, doesn't it?
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Carl Baker said it this week as well. He feels wanted.
Exactly.
Sammy Klingen, who's been away for 2 months, by the way. I mean, his return's coincided with their upturn in fortunes.
Yeah.
What a goal that is!
That's brilliant. That is Di Canio-esque, wasn't it? That was a fantastic finish, and no, they're in good form, Coventry. As I say, they've had a hard time of it this season, but they've actually now starting to put a run together, and I don't think they won't be top of anyone's wish list to be playing at this precise moment.
And you think with Carl Baker warming up in midfield as well, who can score goals, as he has done for Stockport, Freddie Eastwood, they've got up front, along with Leon Best, Clinton Morrison. Once they all start clicking...
Well, it's important that they had a goal threat, and as I said, with Freddie Eastwood, finally, at last, he seems to have found his feet, and they're bearing the fruits of that. 5
goals in 6 games, looking good for Freddie Eastwood. No doubt commentary fans will have been getting in touch, so let's hear what Championship fans are saying on the emails and texts. Lizzie.
Yeah, thanks, Manish. Well, I'm going to start with the fans who are tough enough to kind of wear very skimpy clothing today. Adam, who's a Forest fan, says, I was stupid enough to throw my shirt on the pitch, so I had to travel back to Nottingham topless. Ross, Luke, Lewis and Joe all went topless after Forest scored their goal, so presumably they were pretty cold as well. And Charlie from Gloucestershire drove all the way to Pride Park in ice and snow to watch Scunthorpe, only wearing shorts, shirt and wellies. That is a hardcore Scunthorpe fan. Now, lots of fans complaining about booing at matches today, particularly at Cardiff and Derby. Jay says, I wish people would just get off Cardiff's back. We didn't lose and we're still 4th. Keep the faith. Eli says, how can Cardiff fans boo the team? Look what Dave Jones has done. David says Derby attendances may be the 2nd highest in the league, but 80% of the fans are negative. And another David says, I don't understand why people pay money to see their team if it makes them miserable. But lots of worried Derby fans as well, and lots of very proud Scunthorpe fans, as you might imagine. Becky says, first half, Scunny were magic. Stoey says, keep it up, Iron. You're doing the fans proud. Ben says, Scunthorpe, who played out of their skins today. Now, we've got a few thanks to ground staff for getting the matches on. D-Jax, who's a Coventry fan, says, I'd just like to say well done to all the players and staff who cleared the snow around the ground today. Adam says, a late push for the playoffs. Stranger things have happened. Lots of, as you'd imagine, very happy Forest fans. Jack says, I just want to give a big thank to the West Brom ground staff. And James says, I've put a bet on Forest to win the Champions League within 5 years. Finally, quick questions for Steve. Steve, have you ever been booed, says David, by your own supporters? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Yes, I did. The first game I played for Birmingham, I got booed. I was actually coming home in the car with some of the other players, and there was a poll to see who was the worst player. And it got to the top 3, and I was slinking further and further down, and it said the worst player I've ever seen is undoubtedly, and he made his debut today, Claridge. He said, I've been watching them for 50 years. So, that was a tough start, I've got to say.
How do you respond to something like that, then?
Oh, look, I mean, it's one of those...
You've got to be thick-skinned.
Yes, you have. And I mean, when you've been in the game for a while, then you do get to you get to a stage where you can deal with the ups and downs.
You're thicker skinned than most, that's true to say. Now, Manchester United 1 week, Wycombe Wanderers the next. Such is the life of Leeds United these days. But with news that FA Cup hero Jermaine Beckford has asked for a transfer, what does it all mean for the Ellen Road faithful? Well, Clem has been to find out.
Last weekend's win was Leeds' first at Old Trafford since 1981. Tell me about last week's win over Man U.
I went on the ceiling for about 3 hours after. It was fantastic.
What about how did you celebrate? Celebrate? I was drunk at home, obviously, in front of my television, and I really, really enjoyed it. The best game we've played all season. Brilliant.
Unexpected?
No, we were looking forward to it because we've been doing well, and we knew they were struggling.
But 48 hours later came the news that before the Manchester United game, Jermaine Beckford had handed in a transfer request.
He's a good player. I am a bit sick about it, but if he doesn't want to play for Leeds, I'd sell him, you know what I mean? Just sell him.
He just scored the winning goal against United and he's just put a transfer request in. So I think it's quite naughty.
If we're only going to get 2.5 million, I reckon it's worth about 10 million to get to the Championship and then let him go if he wants to go.
There's no boost from you for him?
No, he's done his bit for me, so while he's still Leeds player, I'm not going to boo him.
You watch Jermaine Beckford every week. How far can he go?
I think he's a bit off the Premiership yet, Clem. I'm not sure he's ready for that. I think he could make the step up to the Championship, but it's still work in progress for him because he's come from non-league. He's done very, very well at Leeds, and who's to say he won't still be here at the end of the season?
Is it still alive?
Yeah, of course it is.
How much did you pay for that then?
I got it for Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah.
Can I borrow your beard for the day, please, to wear on my head?
Unfortunately, I might be putting it there myself in a minute.
Well, they've done a magnificent job getting it on, that's the first thing, Gary.
Oh, it's a fantastic job, you know. The groundsmen and all the volunteers done a great job, so looking forward to the game now.
Now, what kind of black cat did you run over? Norwich, first game of 2010, Leeds today, Charlton next week.
Yeah, but they're the games you want to be involved in, you know. That's why, you know, the players and everybody at the club worked so hard last year to gain promotion, to be involved in these types of games. So, no, we're looking forward to it.
Gary Waddock's enthusiasm would have taken a knock just 4 minutes into the match. Young midfielder Johnny Howson struck a skidding shot from distance, proving to be too hot to handle for Wycombe goalkeeper Scott Shearer. Howson's third goal of the season is first since November. John Paul Pittman showed that strugglers Wycombe were not just at Ellen Road to make up the numbers as he struck the woodwork. Jermaine Beckford did, of course, have his chance to shine, but he spurned his opportunity under pressure from Craig Woodman. While Wycombe hit the woodwork for the second time in the match as Scott Davis's deflected corner rebounded off the inside of the post. There was a slight similarity to Beckford's goal at Old Trafford about the Wycombe equaliser. A long punt found Pittman, whose shot ghosted across Casper Ankergren for his 8th goal of the campaign. Beckford almost stole the limelight again in the final minute. He showed why there's such interest in him by getting himself in a good position, but his shot didn't have enough on it to beat Shearer. So not quite the result Simon Grayson would have been hoping for after last week's memorable FA Cup win.
Well, I suppose it was inevitable. You beat Man U last week, that you get tested yourselves this.
Yeah, well, that's football, isn't it? 1 week you're really buzzing around that you've beaten one of the best teams in Europe, if not the world. Today everybody expected just to turn up and win the game, but football doesn't happen like that. Wycombe were very good today and we were below par, and I suppose over the course of the game we're quite thankful to get at least a point out of it.
And if reports are to be believed, you're about to go to Burnley on 5 times as much money, so can you lend us a fiver?
You've got more money than me anyway, Clem.
Go on, what's happening? Anything?
No, I'm Leeds United manager. You can't stop speculation. These things happen in football, but I've got a job to do here and I'm fully committed to it. Jermaine Beckford is a Leeds United player. Until somebody meets the valuation of him, then we will continue to pick him and do the best for the football club.
This intrepid duo were among those from Devon who made the 630-mile round trip to East Anglia. Let's hope they didn't walk it. The players took 12 hours on Friday on their coach, and having got there, they seemed to freeze early as the red-hot Grant Holt headed in his 21st goal of the season after only 9 minutes. It took Norwich until the 77th minute to double their advantage. Simon Lappin provided the cross, Holt did well, and the finish was simple for Chris Martin to tap in his 13th goal of the season. With a name like Chris Martin, he clearly likes to play in the cold. Exeter's response was almost immediate. Liam Sercombe's shot was fumbled by Fraser Forster, and the evergreen Marcus Stewart, now 37, reacted the quickest. But any chance of a dramatic late comeback was ended moments later. Wes Hoolahan slid the ball through to Holt, and he did the rest to take his tally to 22. And with the points in the bag, Ollie Johnson, a former Nostell Miners welfare striker who signed from Stockport on Friday, was given his debut. How about this for a piece of skill as he took on a number of the Exeter defenders before shooting just wide. With new boys like him on the scene, things are looking good for Paul Lambert and his team.
It's hard to win football matches, and we can't play brilliant every single week, but the way we're performing at the minute and the level of consistency is really, really high, and we've got a momentum going that hopefully will continue.
We were certainly up against it, against a very, very good team, and all I can ask the team is to go and play with your spirit and play their game and play to their maximum, and I think they did, and win, lose or draw, walk off the pitch happy that you've given everything, and I think that, they think that, our supporters think that, so this is not an easy task for us coming to the likes of Norwich City, so I'm pleased.
Not entirely convinced by Paul Tisdale's hat, to be honest with you, but a great result for Norwich. 10 wins now from 12. They've won their last 9 at Carrow Road. Paul Lambert's, he's hit the ground running there, hasn't he?
He has, and it's the sort of club that you'd like to go and play for, you'd want to sign for, because they're creating chances, they're playing well, full of confidence, and they're on a really good run. It's a lovely combination they've got.
It seemed it was a case of after the Lord Mayor's show at Ellen Road, Leeds against Wycombe. Yeah. Obviously, what happened against Manchester United took all the headlines. But Wickham, they got on an even keel, and it was a good goal by John Paul Pittman.
It was an excellent goal, and let's be honest.
What about this for a ball, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic ball from Scott Davis. It's a nice take as well. What you've got to say is, I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with their performance. They've shown a lot of character, a lot of guts. They went a goal down after 3 minutes and could have easily folded, but they didn't. They, in fact, came back from that. OK, Leeds possibly weren't at their best, but you can do no more than play well, and Wickham certainly did that.
It was always going to be interesting to see how the Leeds fans responded to the transfer request handed in by Jermaine Beckford. Say you were Simon Grayson, what would you do then regarding the striker?
Well, he's wanted to go for a while, hasn't he? He's staying as far as I'm concerned. The club
Even if he wants to go?
It doesn't matter to me. The club doesn't need money. They made £4.5 million profit. They've got the money from Fabian Douth. They've had 2 or 3 great cup fixtures. They don't need the money. They might as well keep him. The maximum they're going to get probably is £2 million. It's not going to make a huge difference to their budget. Keep him. He'll get you the goals. They'll get up. Then you can decide what to do with him.
You get the impression Ken Bates might have his say as well.
I wouldn't upset Ken. I know that.
True.
Even though he's away on holiday till the 20th. Yeah. I wouldn't upset him.
Oh, it's OK. He'll text or email from Monaco or somewhere. Talking of emails and texts, let's hear now from Lizzie from League One fans. Lizzie.
No text from him yet, Manish, but we have had lots about Beckford, as you have said. Sam says, whatever happens, he's been amazing for us, so I have a lot of respect for him, unlike some fans. Smithies, though, says, let him go now. Jay says, let Beckford go if he wants to, get as much as possible and get someone else in. And Kieran says he's been a good player for Leeds, but his first touch isn't great and we could do without him. Well, there you go. Now, Wickham fans delighted, as you can imagine, with the result against Leeds. Dale says, credit to manager Gary Waddock. Stephen says, we might be going down, but at least we're starting to show some fight. And Lana says, does this make us better than Man United? Keep the faith, Wickham. Now, Norwich and Exeter. Good luck. I've got to say good luck to the Exeter fans stuck on the A3. Elliot says, my dad drove the East Devon Grecians up to Norwich today in the coach, and now he's stuck on the A3 because of the weather, so I hope they get home OK. A lot of nervous Norwich fans, though, of course, worried about Paul Lambert. John says, 25,000 of us at Carrow Road today chanting Paul Lambert's name. Here to stay, please, God. Daniel says he's the Norwich's yellow man. What a great result for Norwich City today, especially 2 goals from the flying brick Grant Holt. Now, Judd, who's a Rochdale fan, says apparently she wants me to say, can the Rochdale fans turn up tomorrow at Spotland to clear the snow from the pitch? I'm not quite sure why you've got to do it tomorrow, but there you go. If you're a Rochdale fan, turn up. And I've got to finish with this one from Rachel, who says Bristol Rovers beat Stockport 3. Bristol Rovers beat the Stockport 3-0 to Snowman. Oh, I've said this all wrong. Basically, what she's saying is they had a Snowman competition and Bristol Rovers beat Stockport 3-0. Sorry about that. Finally, Frank says, I'm really kicking myself tonight after driving 250 miles to Hartlepool game at Charlton, only to discover that the game had been called off embarrassingly 2 days previously. The 4 of us are now stuck in London. Thanks for all those emails, and I'm sorry if I didn't read yours out.
OK, Lizzie, thanks very much. Right to the league tables then, and while there were no games in League Two, just a quick reminder of how the sides begin the new year. Rochdale top, 5 points ahead of Bournemouth, who themselves are 7 points clear of Rotherham. It's tight, though, for the chasing pack. Just 4 points separate Shrewsbury and Morecambe, who are down there in 10th place. At the bottom, it's a huge task now for Darlington to avoid slipping out of the league altogether. 14 points adrift of safety, and not helped having not played for almost a month now. Grimsby, they're a little closer, but they've played 2 games more than their nearest rivals in Lincoln. Well, it's as you were at the top of League One, but Leeds dropping points to Wickham mean that Norwich are just 6 points behind. That point for Gary Waddock's side keeps them in 23rd, but now 5 points from safety. To the Championship, Forest's terrific run sees them up to 2nd. Cardiff stay 4th after their draw with Blackpool, with the Tangerines 2 points off the playoffs. That good win for Scunthorpe means they're 5 points clear of the bottom 3, level on points now with Derby. That good win over Barnsley sees Coventry go up 3 places to 14th. Well, the usual reminder, you can watch the programme back again via the red button right now, but only for the next 5 hours on Freeview. It's also on the iPlayer all week. Not forgetting all the goals will be available on the BBC Football website. We're back on Thursday for Carling Cup highlights at 11:20 on BBC Two. That's with the best of Blackburn v Aston Villa. And we're back with hopefully a few more games from the Football League next Saturday. My thanks as always to Steve and to Lizzie. We'll see you on Thursday night. From all of us, good night.